Well, I'm not sure it's a good morning because I had a conversation yesterday and it worries me. And I know this isn't happening everywhere for everyone, but as areas are opening back up and as residential settings for people who are living with dementia are starting to open the patio area, the outdoor area for people who are living with dementia and their families to see one another, be with one another again in very sort of prescribed settings. Some places are doing a fantastic job at this, and they are really doing all the things they should be doing to keep people safe and yet allow people to be together. And some places are doing middle of the road-ish. And then there are some places that I'm actually fairly concerned about how this is being handled. So I heard of a situation yesterday, and I want to share that there was, of course, a lot of signing of wavering that you understood by doing this, that da-da-da-da-da. You had to sign that you agreed you would stay in your chair, you would not touch, you would wash your hands, you would use gloves and gowns, and you would only visit with your person, and you wouldn't do, all kinds of checks the box for hyper safety, quote unquote, people who are really, 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 really trying to be careful with COVID, to the point where, it sounds a lot like COVID is the only thing we're worried about when it comes to dementia and family members. So right before the final sort of seeing the person, they were asked to read this statement. So Corrie, I'm going to have you read the statement out loud, okay? So this is what they were asked to read.
Please read this message. I understand by visiting my loved one, I am putting their health at risk.
So that's the last thing you
Horrible.
see before you go to see your loved one. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, so let's guilt me one more time. Like this hasn't been hard enough. We were in mid-March, mid-April, mid-May, mid-June, mid-July. It has been 4 months in many cases since I was able to talk with my person in real person in a location where, although we're 6 feet apart, we were real people in real space together. And the last thing I see from the people who've been caring for my person in my absence is, you understand by coming here today and being present today, you're putting them at risk. And it's like, really? Really? We're like this, and you're an intruder. And I've got to tell you, your presence here is not welcomed. I must tell you that your presence here is a risk, and we actually would prefer that you not be here. I'm sorry, but we're a team. This is supposed to be teamwork. This is supposed to be us working together. To have that be a final message to share with me right before I go into a moment with my family member that I haven't got to be with, excuse me, there are other ways to inform me. It's called awareness, not guilt. So I'm going to ask you, right before you meet with your person, Corrie, right before you do that, I know you just took a bite and I am so sorry. So we're basically going to make sure that you finish whatever you're chewing before you go to meet your mom. Because one of the things we want to make sure of is, of course, if you would, the whole time you're there, I know it's really hard. It's really hard for me to ask this of you, but make sure you keep your mask on. Yeah. And we went over some of the other things that it was really important so that we can try to minimize risks while everybody's visiting everybody. Could you give me sort of like your take on that? What are the top 3 that we want to make sure of so that we all are doing our very best to have this be a really wonderful experience for everybody? What were the things that when we talked about them really struck you?
I'm not sure I'm understanding the question, just about what to keep safe.
Yeah, so some of the, the things I've been having on TV and everything, it's basically very similar.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're going to be really excited. I know she's going to be pretty excited. And so I just want to make sure that we go over them one more time, because you're going to have to hold hard, but she's going to be really excited.
Yeah. So keeping mask on, making sure we wash our hands really good.
And you've done that. I saw that you did that.
Yeah. Covering our cough.
Covering coughs. Yeah, if you got a cough, make sure you also then move to the, do your, okay.
And maintaining distance.
Maintaining some distance. I've got a feeling, given your mom, though, I think she's going to reach out. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put the gloves on.
Okay.
Because I think she is going to reach out. And I think what we're going to do in your situation is set you up catty corner for her so that we have that you in that supportive stance. We're going to put you on her right.
Okay.
Because she's more comfortable with that. Now that means, do you want to try setting that up with me so you feel like you know what it's going to feel like? Or are you feeling like you're ready to see her? Do you want to practice or do you want to try it?
No, I feel like I'm ready to see her.
You're ready to see her?
Yeah.
What if she leans into you and wants to give you a hug?
Well,
I want you to go, "Ooh, Mom." I want you to offer both your hands to her.
Both hands, but not a hug.
I want you to take both your hands and I want you to take her hands and let her squeeze your hands and go, "I have missed you like everything."
Yeah.
And I want you to pump her hands a little bit. Try not to move into a full out hug if you could, because again, I know you came prepared, but we're just trying to minimize the risks.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I want to keep her safe and us safe. And
yeah,
I think my anxiety is more around what she understands about what's happening right now.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked a little bit about, but I'm not sure I said a lot about, is did you bring something to show her that you put in a Ziploc?
I did. I've brought some photos of our garden.
Okay.
She loved to garden, and I thought this would be a great way for her to kind of see what we've been doing and just conversation.
Okay, cool. And you guys have been pretty much self-quarantining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have some pictures of the garden, and I have some Ziploc bags. So if you would hand those to me, I will go ahead and put them in the Ziploc bags.
Okay.
And then I'll give them back to you. And if you put them over to the side, turn them over, and then you can turn them up one at a time. Mom, look at this.
Yep.
Gardening. Yeah. So cool. Is it okay? I would really like to be present just because I don't know. You and your mom, you guys have always really been together a lot when you come, and you used to sit on the couch. Are you okay if I sort of go ahead and sit there? I'll turn away a little bit, but I'm a little concerned how she might really want to do a lot of touching on you. And
no, I think that's really helpful. Like I said, you've been spending time with her and I haven't. So I'm a little nervous about it.
She is such a toucher. She loves to touch. So what we've been doing is wearing extra layers whenever we're around just because she likes to touch.
Well, and I brought a long sleeve shirt that I could put on.
Did?
Yeah.
Super. If you wouldn't mind putting that on, that would be, I think, a good idea.
Yeah.
Because your mom, I know it's going to be a little warm out here, but I know that, she likes to put her hands on. Just who she is. So we've adapted to that. And so we put on that extra layer that we can take off as we're getting ready to leave her area. But to allow her that freedom of touch. She really does. And then to also be aware that she might want to touch up around. So just, she's a toucher.
That was one reason I put my hair back today. So it's not
cool.
Not so tempting.
Not so tempting. Good. Excellent. Well, cool. Well, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. How did that feel?
It's good for me. I mean, we were able to engage in a conversation where we both have some input. We're both aware of what's going on and have sort of thought ahead of time what this might look like.
Uh-huh. What does
Just
it
knowing
also...
that once we get in there, once I see her, it could be a different scenario. But for me, having you there as a backup is really helpful. I don't know that everyone would feel that way, because a lot of people feel like they're being controlled in all of this, and that's
right.
hard.
And so I get that. And yet at the same time, I do want to know sort of what your mom's touching and how much and what kind of things she's doing. Because what have I also shared with you that I think is really important for you to hear?
About the touching, just that.
Have I been active in your mom's care?
Oh, yeah.
I know her?
You've seen it a lot, right?
Yeah. So we're a team. I mean, we figured out a way to cope and deal with this, and you came sort of prepared for it. But we don't know how this is going to be. This is a new time for us. This is something different. You're a little anxious, so am I, because I'm not sure how this is going to go at the end. Is this going to be okay? One of the reasons I want to stay involved is so that I'm not coming back in at the end to end the relationship. But we can figure out some kind of transition, because if I leave and then I come back at the end, here I am, the prison guard coming to get your mom again. That could send a message that makes us getting together again harder.
Right.
And we're coming back into a new normal. This is our new normal.
So Teepa, I know we're running a little close on time, but I wonder if maybe tomorrow we can talk a little bit about what this looks like in facilities where they don't have the awareness, and it's not a support team mentality for the families, and what they can do, I guess, to prepare themselves ahead of time.
So let's talk about that, because that was certainly the message that this community was sending to the families who were visiting.
Yeah.
And I decided I was going to be mean and send back a similar message, but I don't think these messages are helpful, but here was the message I would send back.
I understand by not visiting my loved one, we are both losing a little more of our lives each day.
That's what I understand. So, this is my message back, is like, guys, these are real people with real histories, with real stories. And it's not okay. We don't need to be mean to each other. We don't need to hurt each other. We need to appreciate one another. We're all working to do the best we can, but if we don't work together, this isn't going to get better. And people are losing their lives one day at a time. Maybe not to COVID, but being without when I've had is really hard. And I haven't done anything wrong. Neither of families and neither of staff at this point. But it's time for us to start having better conversations. Anyway, so tomorrow we'll work on what to do if we don't have a team, because we still can do stuff. It's more challenging when everybody's not working together. And we need to get people on the same page, if at all possible. We don't need to be the boss of each other. We need to figure out how to be with each other again. All right, everyone, till tomorrow, be well, take care, and be kind, be wise, be kind, be curious. See you then.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread Teepa's positive approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.